Hey guys, it's J-Man Powerhouse. Welcome to episode 7 of the Life is Seals podcast. And I guess permanently now, I'm not alone.
Hey guys, it's Coffee here.
And today we have a special guest.
Steven Jackson.
So, I want to go over real quick. Um, I know I keep mentioning this in every episode. Uh, and I know that I put music on the last episode, and everyone's gonna hate me for that again. Um, but we are trying our best to make this all sound logical, I guess, because it is hard for us to do that. God damn it, Coffee, with your noise backgrounds. Um, it is hard for us to do that, and so it's hard for me to explain what we're gonna do because I didn't come up with this idea. Steven actually came up with it about 5 minutes ago. But we don't want to rip off. We've talked about how we don't want to rip off the Blackwell podcast. So before we get into what our idea is and how we're going to run this, let's get to know Steven. Steven?
Yes.
Steven obviously doesn't want us to know him. No. Um. So
Steven is bracing himself.
yeah. Um. So how long have you been a Life is Strange fan?
About a year now.
About a year. Okay. Have you? What do you think about this community, like in general?
The Life is Strange community? Oh, it's great.
No, no, the John Cena community. Yes, the Life is Strange community.
No, Life is Strange is great. It's got so many complex issues that you never thought you would see thinking about unless it was otherwise presented.
No, I'm not. I'm not just talking about the game. I'm talking about the community, like the people, like inside the community, like everyone you see in Dave's streams and in Katie's streams, about like how close of a family people actually are.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. It's like a second family. Everybody interacts and communicates. They love the game. They love the actors. They can associate. They relate. It's just like a big family. Everybody looks out for one another.
Yes, but when we tell them to look out for us, they say, "No, your podcasting sucks." No, I'm kidding. Um,
Well, I mean, everybody's going to have their own opinion. No matter what it is, you're going to have your haters.
yeah. Haters gonna hate. Oh man, I gotta edit that out. Although I'm not going to edit it out. Well, unedited. That was weird. So here's a funny story. So my brother came home, and I'm not gonna say him by name, but I will give him a shout out. Sorta.
John Cena.
Yes, my brother was John Cena. My brother came home, and yeah, that makes totally sense. I want to be a podcaster instead of a wrestler. Um, my brother came home and said to me that he he didn't even know I was doing a podcast, but he typed in "Life is Strange" for something or something like that, and he found the podcast,
Huh.
and then clicked on it and said, "Oh my god, that's my brother's voice." And he thought Coffee was a nerd, which most people do, but um, he said
That's not
that,
true. I'm an idiot.
yeah, yeah, bro, get it right, dude. Come on. Um, it's not true. I'm stupid, not a nerd. Um, so I showed him the podcast and we talked about it, and he went to me. He goes, "Dude, this community is something crazy." And I went, "Yeah, dude." And he said that Coffee actually sounded somewhat nice. That confused me. But uh, so I'm gonna ask you a couple questions real quick, and then we're gonna get
Okay.
into the way the way we decided to figure out this format, I guess. So my first question is, do you like pineapple pizza?
Oh, pineapple pizza is good.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Let's have a debate on why you don't like pineapple pizza.
Me?
Yeah, you told me
I
you don't like pineapple pizza.
I said I like pineapple pizza. I guess I just phrased it in a way that confused you.
Well, that's very easy to do. So, um,
I wasn't even trying to.
so yeah, of course you weren't low key not trying to.
I was trying extra hard to make it clear, make my sentences as long as possible so that it's clear as possible.
Okay, so my next question here. This is where you're gonna get a lot of hate, no matter what the answer is you give. Bay or Bay?
Arcadia Bay, straight up.
You sacrificed Arcadia Bay.
Yes, I did.
Okay, why?
I mean, you saved your life 4 or 5 times.
You
By the time
killed
you've actually grown a connection in a week, half of those people in town were jerks anyway.
you calling Warren a jerk?
Juan?
He had his violent tendencies.
What did you just say, Coffee?
Did you say Juan?
Juan Cena? No, I said Warren.
Oh,
You would
sorry.
kill Warren, you would kill Joyce, you would kill, well, I mean, David Madden can just, yeah, but you would kill all those people?
Well, see, here's my theory. At the end, after you sacrifice the bay, there's a family of dough. Why would there be a family of physical dough if the storm killed everybody? Wouldn't there be some people that managed to make it out as well?
Yeah, but we know for a fact that they're not the main characters, though.
They're not going to
Also,
be the main characters, but if
I'm
Arcadia
pretty
Bay is
sure
destroyed, the only ones that would probably be killed off would be the Prescotts because they think they're high and mighty and above the law. So if it kills the Prescotts, I mean, more power to sacrifice the Bay, in my opinion.
Warren dies. I think we see like in one of the scenes that his car's flipped over. I mean,
I don't,
we can
I
assume his
don't,
body's right next to it.
I don't remember that.
No, his body was never next to his car.
No, I don't know. I thought I
No,
saw
he
a
was in the
screenshot.
diner with Joyce.
You're thinking about Juan.
Juan. Yeah.
Juan.
Juan
You're
stole
thinking
Warren's
about,
car.
yeah, you're thinking about Juan Glam, not Juan Glam.
Mm.
I mean,
Juan
yeah,
Graham
I
is a
mean,
white guy.
he's got to go 8, folks.
No, he's going monkey. Juan Graham.
Oh, Jesus. So yeah, when you think about it that way, I never really thought about it that way. I just always associate the deer thinking it's Rachel Amber, but you bring up a good point that there's more than one deer, or more than one doe. So, because like you think that like whenever I see a doe in real life, I actually think it's Rachel Amber. No, um, yeah, but that's a good point. So, did you go back and see what happened if you sacrificed Chloe?
Honestly, no, I did not. I actually looked it up online because I could not bring myself to do so.
What a coward! No, I'm kidding.
It was more heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, there was a behind the scenes that had the developer saying that originally sacrificing Chloe was the only ending they had. The only reason they added the Arcadia Bay ending is because a lot of people didn't want to make that choice.
So they made it just to fuck with our feelings.
Pretty much, yes.
Well, fuck you, Square Enix. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
How do I pronounce it? Coffee, I said Dontoid. Is that what I say?
Yeah, Dontoid.
Yeah, fuck you, Dontoid.
I always thought it was don't nod.
Oh, it is Donut. He just doesn't know how to pronounce his words.
Well, I guess don't nod to that.
Deck. What did I call it one time? I called it deck line. Right? And
Yeah.
Coffee was like, what the hell did you just say?
Well, that's the before the Storm team. Deck 9 was the only one that was outside of don't nod.
Dontoid?
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, those were the. Were there any other main questions I asked Coffee? Or were those are the main two questions, right? Okay. Now I do actually have one more question.
Okay.
So why are you so ugly? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, we're
Um
very hospitable to our new guests.
yeah.
Yes, I see this. Thank you.
No.
This
So
is our nice treatment.
right? So
Get ready for our friendly
right, welcome to the Life is Friendly podcast, psych.
zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist. Oh man. Don't
May
know
he
what he's
rest
doing.
in those frat parties.
Yeah. Don't know what happened to him. Anyway, um, we probably turned him away.
No, I'm
So,
still here.
so, what I was gonna say was we talked about this again. I brought up in my first 17-minute disaster because that's what I like to call it because it really was just a clusterfuck. Um, that I've been thinking about this for a while, and actually, uh, I hate to burst it to Coffee, but I actually asked Steven about this before I asked Coffee. So, Coffee feels sad now.
You
Hello?
hurt my
Coffee?
feelings.
Yeah, right?
There's coffee.
I'm crying. Tears.
So, yeah, man tears. Um,
No, no crying tears.
so, me and Steven have talked about this a while, and I feel like I'm just a repeating thing because I keep saying me and someone have talked about it a while. Sometimes it's a while, and sometimes these people randomly just say, "Hey, I heard you exist," and then I'm like, "Yeah, this podcast is a thing." I'm like, "I hope I exist. I'm an actual human."
Are you sure about that?
I mean, it's life is strange. You never know. Um, so I wanted to bring this up that I am very, how do I put this? Enthralled. I feel like that's the wrong word. I was very enthusiastic to do this with Steven because I did ask him his age, and now I'm gonna come out and tell him the only reason I asked him his age is for legal reasons. But I asked him his age, and then I said, "All right, yeah, you want to be in the podcast?" And he's like, "Sure." And then what was it, about a week? I didn't respond, and you messaged me back, and you were like, so we doing this thing?"
Yeah, it's about a
And
week.
I was, yeah, and I was like, "Oh wow, he has it taped in his mind. He knows exactly what I'm talking about." I was like, "So yeah," and then I was like, "Okay, well, I'm working on it." And then about another week ago, I saw you in a stream, right?
Yeah.
And I said to you, I was like, "Look, I haven't responded because we're getting a couple things going and we're figuring things out." And he's like, "So you don't want me in the podcast because I'm old?" And I was like, "No, that's not the reason. I want you in the podcast. We just had a lot going on." So we finally are piece to pieces together, at least for now. Um,
Mhm.
As Coffee sits there crying, saying, I thought I was the only option he had. Sorry,
I thought he
Coffee.
wanted me here.
You're fired. No.
This is about the 7th time you fired me.
I know. In the Life is Feels podcast, it's all about feelings, so no one can get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Hence
I
why
feel
it's called.
like I should still be working here for free.
I for free. Yeah, you are working here for free. So shut your yeah. So Steven came up with this idea, but since Steven came up with this idea, Steven is going to have to be the one that explains it, because if I explain it, people are going to email us and say, "What the hell are you talking about?" So, oh, by the way, so you can follow me on Twitter at jmanpowerhouser. You can follow Coffee on Twitter at coffeemug888. Steven Jackson, do you have a Twitter?
Yes, I do.
What
It
is it?
is exactly the same. It is Steven Jackson 13.
Okay, you can email us at. Or maybe I should just start doing this at the end of the podcast, but then my outro's not as good. You can email us at lifeisfeelspodcast@gmail.com. So, Steven, do you want to get to the order of the way we're going to do things and explain why?
Yes. Okay, so most people think Life is Strange, they have to start at the original season 1 game that came out first, which is good in theory. However, it does not explain why Chloe is mad at Max, why their friendship has grown distant, and what happened in between that would cause Chloe to be the way she is. So I thought, why not do it by timeline? Whereas in Farewell, she's a young teen, to where before the storm, she's growing up, she's getting to where life is just kicking her to the ground. She's angry at everybody. And then after that, the original Life is Strange is where everything starts to come together. It pieces itself. So it would make more sense, in my opinion, to do it in the order that it should be based on age. Or as
Okay.
I like to call it, the life of Chloe.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna tell you now, people are still gonna be confused out of their mind by this. But, uh, me and Coffee, well, I guess me and Coffee mind synced and talked about it, right? Uh, because in my mind, I think we agreed that this is the best way to do it. Because again, we've talked about how we don't want to be like the Blackwell podcast and how we be separate and how we want to be different. And what the Blackwell podcast did, episode 1 of Life is Strange, episode 2 of Life is Strange, we're gonna take a detour and we're gonna do it this way. A, because I agree with Steven, I think it's the best way to do it. B, because Dontoid, Deck 9, Dontoid, whatever the hell this company is still somehow working on episode 2 of Life is Strange 2. So at this point, we could be having to make content for 7 months without going over another episode of that. So we don't know. So we're just right now trying to, I guess I'm not going to say fill content because that feels like a long phrase, but we are trying to, I guess, get content is a better word, right? And be able to express how we feel that way, which a lot of people don't do it this way. So we're gonna see how it goes. Um, you guys have anything else to say before we get into farewell?
I'm good.
Coffee?
Well, no, not really.
No, you're good.
I'm good.
Okay. Uh, all right. So I guess so the order we're gonna do this, I guess we'll go into it just to describe it more. We're gonna go farewell. an episode 1 of Before the Storm, episode 2, episode 3, and then we'll do all Life is Strange. And then maybe we'll go over Life is Strange 2, episode 1. I know me and Coffee already did that. But maybe we'll see what Steven thinks. But tonight, guys, we're gonna go over Farewell, the bonus episode of Life is Strange Before the Storm. Technologically speaking,
Chronologically speaking? What?
chronologically speaking, the first episode of Life is Strange. So what did you guys think of the backstory?
I feel the beginning was pretty cool. The way they blew up the Barbie dolls, and for her to say to Max, she said I had to clean up my room. She never said how, which actually I can relate to because I've actually told people, you've told me to do this, but you never said how long, how to do it, and whatnot. So, I mean, that actually, I had to give it a little bit of a chuckle there.
Yeah, Coffee.
It shows that, yeah, I like it. You know, it shows that she still has her rebellious spirit, even when she was in her nice stage, not rebellious stage.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's key. The way the way they try and do that. Um, I will say that. So we know chronologically, and Coffee's gonna have to be the one that keeps saying chronologically because I'm gonna say chronological, and people are gonna say that's not English. So, um, chronologically, I guess we sort of see what I don't understand though. Okay, so Max leaves Chloe first, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay, and then she meets Rachel.
correct.
yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure because people have told me, and I don't know what idiot drink these people are drinking, that it's actually the other way, and that she meets Rachel first, and then Max leaves.
Well, I mean, I can see why they would think that, but even so, if they play and pay attention to the original Life is Strange season 1, it said that Max left her long before Rachel found her.
Yeah, like I think she was gone for 5 years,
5
and it
years,
was
yes.
2 years, and 2 years after her father died is when she met Rachel, or 3 years, I think.
Well, not only did her father leave, but you got to remember, Max had left, was in the process of leaving, and then her father passed away a day before Max left, and before Max left the week prior, she had lost her cat Bongo. So she had 3 deaths back to back to back.
By the way, I want to say that's an amazing name for a cat. Who in their right mind, and nothing against anyone anywhere, but who in their right mind would name a cat Bongo?
I would.
Well, of
I
course you
mean,
would.
it's clever. I mean, it's no worse than the pirate name. They gave the pirate name Pongo or Pogo.
Pongo.
Pogo. I'm sorry, Pogo.
Pogo.
I'm gonna hop on every mistake you make. No, I'm kidding.
He's not.
Yeah, I'm probably not actually.
I'm
Dead
at
air.
move.
What?
I said I'm at 1, but moving forward.
I'm at 1. Yeah, I think Coffee's at like 900 though, so you're good. Coffee, you got a while to catch up to Coffee, and Coffee's only been in 3 episodes.
Yeah. I've made
Really,
more mistakes than Trump has dollars.
then Trump has what?
Dollars.
That is not possible. I don't think. You guys can't hear anyone else, right? You can just hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because my dogs are being bitches. Literally. Because technically
They're being
dogs are
female.
bitches. So,
That sounded sexist.
welcome to Life is 7, episode 7 of the Life is Field podcast, where we get sexist. No.
That was unintentional.
What was unintentional?
Sounding sexist.
Sure, whatever you want to believe. Yeah, no, it was unintentional.
You better agree it was unintentional, otherwise your podcast is getting less good ratings than it's already getting.
Wow. Although I will say I do appreciate the 15 views on the last video.
Oh yeah, we're getting popular.
You
Well,
might
now
want to
you'll
go.
get even more, considering that you've only had one mistake on me compared to the 900 that Coffee has.
Oh shit! He's throwing me under the
901.
bus too. 901. Just every time he talks, it's a different mistake.
Yeah.
By
the end of the episode, I'm gonna double my mistakes.
You're gonna be at 1,800.
Yeah.
So you're right. I like the Back to the Future vibe. No. I like the backstory they told. I mean, again, with Farewell, it's hard to like, it's hard to, because it was so short, right?
Yeah, it was about an hour and a half compared to the 2.5, 3 hours for every other episode.
Yeah, so it was pretty short, but hang on, I'm trying to do math to see how long we've actually been recording. So 51. Okay, so yeah, we've been recording for about 28 minutes. Is that right?
That's about right, yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's quick ass 28 minutes. So yeah, what was I gonna say? God damn it. This is why I can't do this myself.
You were saying that the episode was shorter compared to the others.
Oh, it was short. It was shorter compared to the others, but I have talked about numerous times how I listen to Blackwell podcast, and I'll give them another shout out. Why not? But I listened to a Blackwell podcast episode, and they did interviews with Hannah Tell and Ashley Birch after they came back, and obviously for I guess I could say business reasons they couldn't be in Before the Storm, right? That's all I'm gonna say, because the reasons are that'll take another half hour to explain, right? So I'm just gonna say, because of business reasons, they couldn't be in Before the Storm, and I will tell you that from what I've heard, Hannah Tell and Ashley Birch were so happy, because Hannah said that when she found out they were gonna have a Max, she got nervous. She was like, "What if someone else takes the character? And what if someone else messes it up?" And she got so scared, and she was so happy that her and Ashley were the two that got to. Yeah, and you could tell by the way they voiced the episode of the connection was there.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we meet William here, right?
Yes, this is the start of her father.
This is the start. Her father was born on this day. No.
This is where her father was introduced, yes.
This is where her father was introduced. So Mr. Matson is not introduced. Okay, Mr. Matson next episode. I'm sorry, chronologically, this is confusing as shit. I don't want it to be, but it is.
I think in the first Life is Strange, there's a part that's earlier than this episode.
What?
Or never mind. Or is this a little bit after than that earlier episode? Or what?
What are you saying?
Okay, are you seriously trolling right now? Because there's nothing before Farewell episode.
No, I'm confused. Never mind, ignore me.
907.
William is Chloe's biological father, and he is introduced in this game. He has not yet left. Well,
I think he's talking about... Okay, I know what he's talking about. Sorry to cut you off. What he's talking about, I think he doesn't realize that the flashbacks in the original Life is Strange or in Before the Storm is actually after Max leaves. I think that's what he's talking about.
No,
okay, I got you.
Isn't it the ones where I'm talking about the one where he goes to pick up Joyce and gets in a car crash.
Yeah, you're thinking of episode 4 of the original season 1 Life is Strange.
Yeah.
And in this episode, he has not yet picked her up, but he has left the house, leaving the two girls by themselves.
So he dies at the end of
the
this
same
episode.
time.
Yes.
Yes, the episode 4 is a flashback to this episode, basically. Because he basically once you find out he's leaving the girls alone, basically as soon as he walks out the door, he's dead.
Pretty much, yes.
So basically, episode 4 of the original Life is Strange is referring to this. So it is not a timeline before this. This is the smallest timeline. I think even if you count Captain Spirit, this is still the first thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you see the father leave the house, which you never saw in the Farewell episode. But the Farewell episode has to do with what the kids did after he had left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for those who have played the original Life is Strange, there is an Easter egg here. If you look at the pile of dirty clothes in Chloe's room, if you look at the very bottom, you will find the 2 shirts that the girls wore in the original Life is Strange is in there from when they were playing Dress Up for the Hour.
Wow. That's confusing.
And I'll be the first to admit, I myself missed that. I got that from information on the internet.
Wow.
The interwebs.
I'm missing a lot of stuff. Oof,
yeah,
I'm
you're
a disaster.
974.
Going for a record here.
You're just... it was a record when I decided to let you agree to be on this podcast. That was a record in itself.
Yeah.
Everyone still hates me for that decision. They're like, what the hell's wrong with you? So go ahead, Stephen. Keep talking about William.
So William is shown leaving in the original Life is Strange. In the Farewell episode, William has already left, and the girls are enjoying what's supposed to be their final 3 days before Max leaves for Seattle because of her dad getting a job. So while he's gone, there is a reference that Chloe makes, and I overlooked this. I don't know how many people out there have overlooked this. I'm sure there are many of them. She says, I figured they'd be back by now. What's taking so long?
No, I caught that.
Okay. See, I heard it, but I never made that connection between the two games until after Joyce walks in without her dad. And that was when it hit me. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, because, okay, so technically, if you're smart enough, which I'm not calling anybody stupid, you'd figure out at the end of this episode, before the phone call, whatever that was, before the voice recording, which we'll get to, when Joyce walks in, was that before or was that after? That was before, right?
Joyce was at the end. She came in after the phone call.
Okay, so after the phone call, so I don't. It's okay, Coffee. I don't know anything either. So, but after the phone call, Joyce comes in, and you can tell because I think there's like a, and Life is Strange is really good at doing this. There's like a, how do I put this? There's a mood change, and there's a little bit of music. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
when
the
Joyce,
music matched up with the situation is amazing.
so when Joyce walks in, um, if you're smart, which again I'm not saying any of you aren't, you should be able to figure out that this is when Joyce figured out that William died and all that.
Yeah. Well, when Joyce walked in, I'd figured it out. But at the time she makes the comment, my mind was so swimming with everything that was going on, I didn't focus on what that could mean.
Oh no, I felt the same way. I understand. Okay. So I got the comment and I thought about it and I thought, oh, this is just a teaser. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything. And then when you got to that point, like you said, and Joyce walks in and it's like, oh, oops.
Well, see,
Like,
when I first started playing it, I figured Max was in there. It's called the farewell episode. Max is going to leave.
mm-hmm.
Well, I love how they incorporated the cat from the original, because without the original, there'd be no cat, there'd be no cat pictures and what have you. But I didn't plan on finding that William had passed in that episode. I just figured, she's leaving for Seattle. She's got 3 days left.
I'm
And then she
sorry,
says,
the
well, they should be back by now. Okay, they're just out
coffee's really
having
quiet.
a joyride. And then you start feeling bad because Max is leaving and Chloe's scared. And I mean, she's an AB student. She's doing wonderful. She's enjoying life. She's very connected with her father. And I mean, you're already feeling bad that Max is leaving. And then they come in and they sucker punch you with the father thing, which to me, that's just adding salt to the wound. I mean, there's no more you can take after Max leaving. I mean, it's her dad.
Yeah. So
What's up?
coffee. So, I'm gonna ask this both to you, and I think the answer is yes. Do you think that the way Hannah and Ashley did these characters in this, I'd say, hour-long episode, they did it right?
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Do you think it would have been
100%.
different? Yeah. Do you think it would have been different if someone else did them?
Of course.
Well, I mean, I would
Liana
think
could have
so.
did Chloe.
I would think so, but I mean, without actually seeing somebody else take the parts, I mean, it's only speculation. But I feel that if anybody else had done it, we would not have gotten the great praise and the results that it did get. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, all the pirate references, we figure out why they're in love with pirates and why they keep mentioning pirates in the original life, in the other Life is Strange. Uh, I mean, what else is there really to talk about here? I mean, the connection was. I mean, we gotta talk about the voice thing in a minute. But before that, what else was there? Was there I forget exactly what this was, but there was what are those things called? A time capsule. Is that what it was?
Yes, the
Yes.
pirate time capsule.
Yes. What did you two think about the way they inserted the pilot time capsule? Coffee, you first.
I don't know. Oh, it was pretty cool.
man of few words.
Yes. Short and sweet.
Well, one thing I did notice is you show her where the treasure is in the yard, and then she says we need to dig it up, and she just rushes to get a shovel. Like, you're not going to know exactly where the X was. You're going to be off that spot. You would need to relocate it to dig accurately.
You're thinking way too much into this, dude.
Yeah, I've been told that. I'm sorry. But when they said this is not what we buried, I figured this does not look good. And
I
then
thought
when you hear the father talk about his daughter on the cassette tape as Bloody Bill, it actually does hit, some emotional chords. But, seeing what was in the capsule, it makes it feel like you were a part of their childhood. You were there when they were going through this.
which is why we decided to do it in chronological order. Coffee, how do I say that? Chronological?
Yeah, chronological.
Chronological order. Because this is why I don't get paid for this. Because it makes, when you think about it in depth, right, and you think about it strongly, it makes sense to do it in chronological order. Right? So, do we have anything else to talk about before we get to the recording? Anything else you two want to hop on real quick?
Well, this isn't related to it, but you can just say time order or something. Less hard to say.
Screw you.
You do not English well.
I do not know ABBA English.
No habla inglés.
Steven.
I'm ready to move on. I think we've covered everything we need to cover.
Wow. Steven's in his first episode, and he's bringing us back to generalization.
He's what we've needed all along. Someone who knows when we need to move along.
That missing move along. Oh shit! There goes the copyright talk. So let's really quickly. I'm gonna ask Steven first because I actually have to mute myself for a second. I know if I ask Coffee, it's gonna be like 2 seconds. So, because Steven will actually talk longer. No offense, Coffee.
None taken.
So, Steven, I guess you don't have anything else you want to hop on real quick and talk about?
Well, the
No.
original. The one question I did have though is during school it did mention that she turned up her Bunsen burner just a little bit. That shows that she is slightly rebellious, but with her having the A's and B's, I don't know. I think she lets way too many little things bother her instead of looking at a grander scale.
I mean, teenagers. Really?
Apologize about that, guys.
Teenagers. Are you good over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Teenagers in general, and I know this. I'm not gonna. Well, I pretty much already. Most of you already know how I am. I'm only gonna be a teenager for a couple more months. Let's put it that way. And as growing up as a teenager, I know Steven went through it because he's like 70 years old. No, I'm kidding. I know Steven already went through it, and I know Coffee's also going through it too. But a lot of teenagers have tendencies to think that everything is do or die, and it's not.
Right.
So the reason I think they portrayed it like that is because in real life, that's how teenagers are. You know, so they
Yeah, that
can't
makes sense.
really. Yeah. Coffee. Do you have any comments on that?
Well, I mean, nowadays, for some reason, adults are always trying to be like, no, you can't make any mistakes. You have to be perfect. And it's like, none of these things are as important as you want to make them seem like they are. Like, it's important to go to college and stuff, but it's always possible to go to a community college or another college and then eventually transfer to your dream college. There are a lot of
I just want.
possibilities, and sometimes your original plan is the one you wanted.
I just want to be a voice actor. Yeah.
I
Well,
just want
another
to be
thing
rich
is,
without doing anything.
well, another thing too is these parents, they try to instill into these kids, you got to be this way, you got to be this way. They forget they used to be that way once too,
Yeah.
and as they get
Exactly.
older, they forget, their children are going to be going through the same thing.
But Dad, I don't want to be like you in high school.
I think at one point we've all said that, and no matter how many times you try to run away from it, you're always going to have something from your parents that's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Your life.
Wow. Too soon. That's messed up. Well, guys, this has been episode 7 of Life of Seals podcast, where coffee just completely fucks me over.
You were brought into this world by them. Hopefully they don't take you out.
Oh,
Coffee, did you have any thoughts to as far as the cassette tape at the episode?
Nope.
because
Unfortunately.
that tape when Max says she's leaving, you have
Dude, I'll tell
no
you what.
thought.
I've been playing games for 20 plus years, and I have never had a game that made me break down and cry. The moment when you find out her dad had just passed away right after you find out her friend's leaving completely broke me. Completely.
Yeah.
But I also have a veteran father who has a degenerative joint disorder, so I mean I can kind of relate to where the father passing away comes in. So I mean maybe I had a little more relative connection with that. But yeah, that was pretty bad.
I mean, yeah, it's see this is the thing I say to everybody, right? And I say it all the time, and me and Coffee have talked about it a lot recently. Is that some of the subjects they touch on in these games, people think bring up too much conflict. Well, my answer to that is there's 5,000 video games in the world. If you can't deal with the conflict in one, why are you? If you can't deal with the conflict in Life is Strange, why are you planning on your Xbox and shooting people and zombies?
Exactly.
Because this is real shit. This is stuff that actually happens. Parents die. Friends leave. I had a best friend. Oh man, I hate telling this story, but I, for some reason, tell it a lot when I talk about this because I relate. I had a best friend that I went to elementary, middle school, and I think it was my first year of high school with, and they moved to Texas. Long story short, um, most of you know where I'm from. I'm not from Texas. Let's just put it that way. I'm not really close. Uh, so I'm in the same country. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
So, uh, the reason they moved was, long story short, because of his dad. And I have tried to contact him, and since then I've never heard from him. So people connect with different things. I know that we're going ahead, but again, you all know this happens. In episode 2 of the original Life is Strange, what is it, Out of Time? Is that what it's called? The one with Day and Katie and Kate at the end.
I believe that was the end of episode.
I think it was the end of episode 2.
Was it 2?
I'm pretty sure it's 2. Whenever I bring up the Coffee says it's episode 3. But
no, it's not
episode
3.
2 out of time is when she
what?
I know it's not 3.
No, it's 2. It's the end of 2 because then after
Kate
that,
suicide?
Yeah,
that's episode 2.
yeah, it's the end of 2. So anyway, I don't anymore, but I used to somewhat deal with depression, not that badly, but in some ways. And I have had friends who dealt with depression. So when that scene happened, it hits you because you've been through it, not exactly that lengths, but sort of been through it, and you relate to that because it's a real life thing. You relate to the mentions of the walls in the episode 1 of season of Life is Strange 2. You relate to them being racist to Mexicans and the Trump reference. But if you can't deal with all the, how do I put this? I'm gonna say with all the, what's that word? Illusion?
Yeah.
Right? With all the allusions to real life problems, and you can't deal with Life is Strange, why are you turning off Life is Strange and shooting zombies that don't exist?
Exactly. And I don't mean to get off topic here, but this was in the news a couple years ago when GTA 5 first came out. Grandmother went in and bought it for her son, who was under 17. I think he was like 12, 13. And she tried to sue Rockstar, not because it had violence, not because it had nudity, not because it had murder, but because it had language. Forget all the other stuff. I don't like the language. Really? I mean, it's right on the back of the package, lady. Read it.
People put too much importance in language, like saying fuck is worse than murdering someone. Like, oh my god.
This is a PG Life is Feels episode. Why did you
Sorry.
just?
Apologies.
No, you don't care at all. Fuck
like
you.
saying puck, hockey puck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, before like cursing is the worst thing you can do. Like,
No, the worst thing you can do is murdering someone.
well, actually, I believe there are things worse than murder that you can do, like maybe rape.
Okay, well, this is now we're going off the walls. But
Okay, I'm
what
just
you
saying
gonna
that
say?
I think sometimes living with experiences is worse than never having a life to experience.
Steven, what were you gonna say? Go ahead.
It is truly Life is Strange.
It really is, and that's why. Again, I've told this, and I told this to Steven. We linked him our podcast. What was it, about 2 weeks ago? And we sent him. Yeah, we sent him. We sent him a link, and he decided to just tell us today that he hasn't listened to one episode because he looked at the name of the title and saw that it said Life Feels. And I disclaimed to him that because of copyright and legal shit. Oh no, I used a bad word. We can't say it's the Life is Strange podcast. But I'm gonna bring this up too. If you look closely enough, you can see the background of Life is Strange too. But my point there is that the reason we came up with this title, me and a couple of my friends came up with it, and whenever I say to someone, "You want to join the Life is Feels podcast?" they're like, "That sounds so emotional, bro." And I'm like,
Let's be emotional together.
yeah, that's pretty much my response. But my main point here is not going too far off topic. Is not only if life is strange, but life is feels. It's feelings, it's emotions, it's the way you handle them. And that's what this game and that's what this community has gone through. And I thought, well, unless I call it Life is Seals, I can't think of a bad title. So that's my brief story on that. But I do agree that some people say language is too much, and there's a lot things worse in the world than language. You know, you can't just say "f you" and then say, "Oh, I'm gonna go call the cops." That's not how it
Right.
works.
I mean, there's exceptions and loopholes to everything nowadays.
Yeah, it really is. So I'm gonna ask Coffee again real quick. Coffee, the goodbye when you find out Max is leaving and going to Seattle and you hear the message, did you cry?
Um,
Be honest.
no,
Be honest. No, you're not gonna be honest, or yes, you didn't cry.
I did not cry.
Okay, what were your thoughts?
I don't know. It's just it hurt, but it's just I don't know. I don't know why I didn't cry though.
Okay. I mean, I'll admit that I cried. Uh, again, I cried. I feel like me and Steven talked about it. I cried because there's that connection, connection of my friend moving to Texas and the connection of everything that's happened and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you think? Well, I guess I'll put it this way, and we'll put the question out there. Um, I gotta I'll link my new Discord and stuff because we had to change a couple things around because of technical problems with our recording system. But anyway, do you think now knowing the connection between Chloe and Max and the original the other Life is Strange, that this was a good way to build those two characters up? And this is for both of you.
Well, I mean, I think they did an amazing job, but at the same time, the thought of it being the final Chloe and Max episode was a little taken aback, for lack of a better word. I mean, you've grown not just this game, but growing attached to them, long before this episode came out. It was just like a crushing blow ending. But overall, I love it. I'd play it again and again.
Coffee?
Yeah, I agree. It was great.
Dude, I really need you
Yeah,
to talk more if you want to be on this podcast.
I'm like I'm being really bland. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little.
The thoughts aren't coming to me.
This usually isn't Coffee, Stevens. Usually Coffee, well, he doesn't say much. Usually he'll at least say something.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's not just agree or disagree, Coffee. You got to elaborate on your feelings, man. I
Yeah.
mean, go a little bit further. Explain yourself.
Feelings, where are you?
Coffee, your cat died. How do you feel?
My cat's 7.
That, oh my god.
Wow.
Life is no emotions. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't ask how old your cat was. I just wanted to.
I freak out and say things.
Coffee, my aunt has leukemia. Wow.
He's probably crying now.
Harvey?
Yep. He muted. He's crying now.
Uh, yeah, well, you know, life is depression. Yeah, so Steven, I think, I think they did a good job of, so,
One of my family actually did die of breast cancer, I think.
oh,
Cancer.
well then I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Did you ever, hey, Coffee, not to invade your personal privacy, but did you ever meet this person?
Yeah. I think so, but I was small, so I didn't really know her.
Oh, I thought you
The
were
reason I
talking
asked is,
about me.
the reason I asked because my dad had a grandmother, my great grandmother, who had a breast augmentation because she had breast cancer. Well, she ended up dying of breast cancer on our way to Florida. I'm up here in Michigan. This is down in Florida. We missed her by 1 day. So I never in my life, even as infant, got to meet her.
That's sad.
Well, guys, this has been episode 7. That's really a depressing note to end on. No, I really don't know what else to say now. I'm just crying inside. Um, so yeah, so you said that they pulled at your, oh Jesus, my headphones is shit. They pulled at your heartstrings, right? And they have a
Correct.
tendency of doing this.
Yep.
Apparently they can't pull at Coffee's heartstrings because he's just a fat ass robot. But
Somebody stole my emotions. I blame them.
yeah, right. So Coffee, you said earlier that you thought Hannah and Ashley did an amazing job on this, right? So
Yeah.
I do have a question for you. Let's
Hmm.
say that somehow in the end of this episode, someone besides William dies. Let's say, for instance, William and Joyce die. How would that make you feel?
Oh, that would suck, man. Like Chloe just like how it already is right now. It's Chloe lost her cat, her father, and her best friend. And now she's gonna lose now. And now in this universe, she also lost her mother. Where is she gonna go? Does she have any
Hey,
family?
we just got emotion out of Coffee. It worked. I
On
don't
that
know how.
note, though,
I'd be scared for her.
now my opinion on that, I think I don't know if she'd go right into the system or if there was any relatives, but if need be, I can see Max's parents taking her in.
Yeah.
Max's parents that we never meet.
Well, you get to meet him briefly for about 30 seconds.
When?
Her dad, anyway. When her dad comes up at the very end of Farewell and puts his hand on her shoulder to say it's time to go.
Oh, I missed that.
So, I mean, it's only 5-6 seconds, but I mean, it's something.
Oh,
And they also should have called in work and said, "Hey, do you mind giving me an extra 2 days, or let Max stay behind with Joyce for a couple days, knowing that Chloe was going to be emotional? Don't just up and take off from the funeral."
Yeah.
yeah. Um, what? Oh shit! Fuck! I forgot what I was gonna say. Um, this is why I can't do this myself. So basically, I guess what I was gonna say was that yeah, they did a good job of I agree with Steven that it's emotional, right? It's in your mind, it's like okay, well, this is it, right? Like we're not gonna get them again. Like this is it. Chloe and Max are gone, right? But I actually want to ask Steven about a conspiracy theory that I have that I've brought
The
up to
infamous
Coffee.
the infamous conspiracy theories.
Coffee knows exactly where I'm going with this.
I didn't like
Um,
them. Zeitgeist didn't like them. I don't think you'll like them either. Like maybe you'll like the first one he says because that's the one that he thinks people will agree with and think, "Oh, I'm safe,"
I'll fire away.
but you're not.
so my first conspiracy theory is that uh Rachel Amber is not dead.
I've heard that theory. Like, people have said that the duffel bag that was in the ground wasn't big enough to store a body of her size. I've also heard that they never show inside the duffel bag what it was, just that there was blood in there. So, I mean, it has been speculated. As to what degree I believe in it, I'd have to sit down and dig deep. I would hope that she's still alive, but the way they've set it up makes me question how they would do that.
Okay.
And I mean, and Life is Strange season 2 isn't completely over.
So yeah, I want to get to that too. So this is where coffee is like everyone tunes out.
I
Coffee
mean,
is
not to jump ahead, but in Life is Strange 2, they ask you right in the very beginning, did you sacrifice Arcadia Bay, yes or no? Me, I clicked yes, and I got the fact that it talks about how the town was completely wiped out and the land is bare. So I don't know. I haven't met a person that chose not to sacrifice the bay yet. I mean, they're out there. I haven't seen
um I
how it differs.
sacrificed Chloe.
Okay, so you said no. How did that differ in your
It
place?
basically it's basically all the differences is it's a map of Arcadia Bay and a picture saying welcome to Arcadia Bay instead of saying all these in mourn and all these that have died and all that.
Oh,
It's really
A
not
view of the
that big
town.
of a difference. Yeah. Um so my conspiracy theory, and this is where Steven's never gonna want to come on this podcast again, is that Rachel somehow meets Sean and Daniel and takes them in and adopts them.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Rachel somehow meets Sean and Daniel, takes them in and adopts them.
I can see that. I mean, she'd have to be in her late 20s to early 30s, but I mean, I can see that.
You're the
'Cause Sean,
first one.
well, Sean was what, 16?
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. She was around 30,
Okay.
or at least legal age, like
Coffee thinks it's
22,
absolutely
23.
absurd.
She'd have to be mature enough to raise them. I mean, she couldn't be like 18 and be like, okay, I'm going to take them in, because
Yes, hello. These are my brothers.
she'd need the financial resources, she'd need the stable environment, she'd need the education for them. I don't mean to get
Okay.
all legal and technical, but
So my other conspiracy theory, I have a couple. That was the one I think is that the main one that I think Coffee was like, there's no way that's gonna happen. My
No.
I
other
don't think it will. But I mean, it's not completely out of the question. If they would have showed what was in the duffel bag, then I could actually make an absolute decision.
Yeah, like if they went for the 100%, she's dead, then you could have 100% say, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
um the only other I brought this up too, that Nathan is actually not dead. Okay? And that Nathan turns into a good guy and Nathan and Samantha take him in. We can't have dead air.
Well, the problem with that is there was 3 multiple endings to that story. Nathan and Samantha either end up together, they hate each other, or the father and Nathan decide it's best not to see Samantha. So, as far as whether Samantha and Nathan are together is very much in question, which leads to the second part of your question. Nathan being a good guy, he values himself as a press guy. He's high and mighty. He's above the law. He owns everything. So I think his self-greed would get in the way of thinking about the two boys more than himself.
Not if Samantha's there to control him.
But I don't think she is
control
there.
him. I think he just cast him aside like little people that are not important enough for him to care about.
I think I'm just saying this because I want to hear Nick Schreiner again. That's the only reason. I just absolutely love Nick Schreiner.
Oh, Nick Schreiner was great. No question on that. I mean, they all did a great job. But on this one, I just don't see how they'd make it work.
Okay. The other conspiracy theory, I have a lot of them, is that so Chloe meets them, and Chloe, Max, and Rachel all take them in, and we finally get to see what it's like when Chloe, Max, and Rachel, all three are friends. No dead air.
That would debate on whether or not people sacrificed Chloe. If they sacrificed Chloe, the three of them aren't going to get together. If that is Rachel in the bag, and depending on what they do with Rachel, that's going to affect whether or not the three of them are going to get together. But, I mean, all three circumstances would have to come in line with one another in order for that to work. It's not out of the question, but with the way they've set the story up, I don't think that would be something that they would be able to situate around.
Okay. What if Max and Rachel meet and Chloe's dead because you sacrificed Chloe, and Max and Rachel take them in? No dead air.
Well, how long would they have known each other at that time? Like,
Let's just
when did
say
they
they've
meet?
known.
How did they meet?
Let's say, for instance, you sacrificed Chloe, and you see Chloe's funeral if you sacrifice Chloe, but you sacrifice Chloe, and then it's a behind the scenes thing, basically, where after the game ends, let's say they had a random interaction, like it's a wrestling show, they had a random interaction backstage, and Rachel went to Chloe's funeral after the cameras went off, and Rachel's not dead, and then Rachel and Max get to know each other from that point. Hello?
Hello.
Well, if that's the case, she would have to explain to Max why she let people think she was dead before they could continue on there. But providing the reason or why people think she was dead, that might be possible.
I personally think that they would not get along so well. Like, I mean,
I mean, I
I
think
don't know what I mean.
emotions are of. This is not an emotional podcast for Coffee. He's just not into it tonight, guys. I don't know what
I
it
don't know.
is.
I think what he's trying to say is that since Max was in love with Chloe and had the option to kiss her, and they've been friends for so long, and then Rachel swoops in and they've been friends for a couple years, that there would be a lot of tension of who knew Chloe better, who was more in love with
But
Chloe.
then,
Everything would be a competition.
but Chloe's dead, so therefore, the enemy, what the fuck is that saying? The best friend of my best friend is my best friend. I just completely made that up. Meaning that maybe they realize that Chloe's gone and they fall in love with each other.
Well, I doubt they'd fall in love, but I don't know. It's just I feel like they're opposites of each other. Like they both have stuff in common with Chloe, but they don't have anything in common with each other because.
Well, I mean, there was the junkyard meeting because Max looked at the wall and said, "I was here too."
Oh yeah, but I feel
Which
like
I
that's
mean,
more
that
like
that goes.
she's optimistic.
Yeah, well, that goes back to my original thing. I think there would be a lot of tension. There would be a lot of jealousy between the two exes.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, how about we just find out that Mr. Jefferson is their long lost dad and they were adopted?
Oh God, no.
Welcome to the Life is Heals podcast, where we give you nightmares.
I'm not even gonna give that an opportunity. I'm shooting that one down right now.
What
Ain't
if
gonna happen.
Tony Bandana is a voice actor for Mr. Jefferson?
That'd be cool, but still never gonna happen.
We're all gonna get attacked.
May he go into the woods with the kids on a camping trip and get mauled by a bear.
Oh,
Why take the
too
kids?
soon.
Just throw him into Friday the 13th.
Throw him to that Mexican dude, that guy who hates Mexicans. What's
Okay,
his
that sounds
name?
vaguely racist.
No, Swammer or whatever the guy's name was that locks Sean up. Throw him to
Oh, I
him.
forgot his name. I know who you're
Oh,
thinking of, though,
the
the old
racist
guy.
guy at the gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
He
him.
was racist too. His whole demeanor was racist. Oh, I hope you paid for that instead of just taking it.
Yeah. So
I
I
mean,
do want to say maybe low key. Okay, let's say so. This I just came up with, and this really isn't a conspiracy theory. It's just something fun to think about. Let's say Mr. Jefferson somehow escapes jail.
okay, that I
Okay,
thought about.
at the end of the original, the beginning of the whatever Life is Strange shit, where you sacrifice Chloe or Arcadia Bay. At the end of that, again, it's a behind the scenes thing where Mr. Jefferson gets out of jail, right?
Okay.
Okay. What if Life is Strange 2 is set up a couple years after and Mr. Jefferson is actually Brody?
No, stop. Welcome to the Life is Heals podcast, when we kick J-Man out of his own podcast and out a window. Blasphemy.
but
Interesting
my
tidbit. Did you know that the actor who played Frank in Before the Storm was also Chris's dad in The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit?
I did know that because you can tell the voices are very similar. Um. Okay, so Steven's not even gonna think about that one either. I
Think
mean,
about what? We're already blocking it off. Repressed memories.
um. Okay, let's change. So or maybe right. Maybe it's Nathan. Maybe it's Nathan.
Nope, they got different names.
It
I don't
turns
see
out
it.
to be. It turns out to be Principal Wells.
Principal Wells had a tan all along.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
Mm,
He's an alcoholic. He wouldn't be that nice.
Maybe
that I can
Mr.
get behind. Jefferson
What?
is an escaped convict out of prison or released from prison, and he's an alcoholic with stubble, a down face, checking himself into rehab.
What if Mr. Jefferson is low key Brody a couple years later, and Mr. Jefferson is just trying to be a nice guy now? No?
Nah.
Nah. Okay, what if Mr. Jefferson was the dad of the guy who was the bully who got blood on him? Is
Well, it
that
would explain why he was so angry and violent towards the brothers.
yeah, that would make sense, right? No dead air.
Here's a thought. What if what the heck's his name? What if Elliot was the neighbor?
What? Why the fuck
Elliot,
you
the
bring
one
up
who
that
stalked
guy?
Chloe, could be the neighbor.
Oh my
Or it
god.
could be the one that fights Sean.
Oh man.
It was hella creepy.
I mean, it never did show what happened to Elliot after he got kicked out. It's almost the same hair color.
Yeah.
Oh man. We're giving Dontoid. We're giving Tote Nod too much to work with.
Yep. Don't they're gonna come here and they're gonna. But this was the plan all along.
They figured it out too quick.
We figured it out too quick.
No, you figured nothing out. You're just sitting there.
No, I'm
Everybody,
standing.
emergency meeting. We're going to watch these podcasts and we're going to take these kids' ideas and we're going to put them in our game.
Because
Hey,
they are
well,
amazing writers, better than our professional ones.
They don't
Yeah.
need to work. They've got our ideas. They're just listening.
None of this is written. I mean, all of this is written for me. I just sit here and read a random script all the time. It's like I'm Roman Reigns. No, I'm kidding. That's too soon. But
We're actually all paid actors. Paid by no one.
paid by no one. Paid by the YouTube views we get, which right now is 15 on our last video. Paid by smiles.
We get paid by fame.
What fame?
Yeah, we're still waiting on that paycheck.
Yeah, why haven't you guys sent us money yet? PO me at no. So
Yeah, me. I'll be happy to receive any money you want to give me.
I got a PayPal.
Oof, so do I.
Ooh, if you want to give me some money, coffee.
No, sorry, I don't have any money.
Then why do you have a PayPal?
So that people
if you're
can
going to
give me
pay
money.
pal, I'll be your pal.
Wow.
The world's greatest pun.
Wow. This podcast is now 100% punny.
God
On that
himself
note,
bless this stream. I mean, this podcast.
I think we're gonna need to do more than bless this podcast. I think we're gonna need to rebrand this podcast at this point.
We're gonna need an exorcism, a blessing, a Shinto priest to show up.
Okay. On that note, as we brought up the priest, we've gone completely off the bus and flown it over. Maybe on top of Elliot and Mr. Jefferson. But
Sounds like a wonderful idea.
we've flown it over. So this is the way we're going to be doing things now. We're going to be going. So up next, we'll go through episode 1 of Before the Storm. That will not be tonight because, well, it might be tonight, but I gotta eat at some point. I don't want many of our podcasts to be longer than an hour, I guess, because I can barely listen to myself for 10 minutes, and I have to sometimes edit this. So I don't want to have to hear my voice for an hour. It's annoying. I know a lot of singers say this too, but hearing your voice, people may think it's good, but I feel like I sound like shit. So it's not fun. No, the real reason is, I don't know, it's just whenever I do something over an hour, it takes like 7 hours to upload. So,
Wow.
whenever we figure this out, it sounds like we'll go through Life is Strange Before the Storm next, right?
Yeah.
Then we'll go through the first Life is Strange. Then maybe we'll go through Captain Spirit. Maybe, I guess we'll see. Right? That depends on shit. Um, Whenever Steven is available, because I know he has no wife right now. Sorry. And I know
Hey,
Coffee.
question. Would
Go.
we first have to find out where in the story uh, Captain Spirit is, or are we just gonna do the chronological thing with the with Life is Strange and Before the Storm? Are we
Um,
gonna keep it there, or
I'm pretty sure Captain Spirit is a couple months after the end of Life is Strange.
Of the first season, yes.
yeah?
So,
I mean, technically, we can do Captain Spirit, but the only connection to Captain Spirit has to Life is Strange Season 2 is Power Bear and the two brothers at the end. I mean, other than that, there's really nothing there.
yeah, but no, there's the connection of the snow and what we're going to see in the next episode.
Oh. I guess
So,
I'd have to
yeah,
play the next episode to see where they're going with it.
yeah, we'll wait on that. Um, so, uh, so up next, like I said, we'll do episode 1 of Before the Storm, then we'll do 2, then we'll do 3, and yeah, if it's confusing, just DM me on Twitter, and maybe I'll be able to explain it to you. I probably won't, so don't actually DM me on Twitter for that. But, you guys have any, like, we went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Do you guys have anything else on, Farewell?
No?
Anything?
I don't.
You don't?
What
Alright,
about you,
well,
Jamie?
wow, you can throw me under the bus.
Yeah,
Pretty,
you've done that to me quite a bit. I want to
pretty,
repay the favor.
you can't repay if you have no money, bitch. No. Um, Pretty much just stuff I've already said. Like, it's a good, it does a good job of connecting everything, if you know what I mean, right? It does a good job of connecting, it, it does a good job of connecting how you understand the storyline of what Chloe and Max are, and it explains why they're not just randomly talking about pirates in the other Life is Strange. Like, there's actually a connection to pirates, and it talks about how close she was with William, and it talks about how Max said goodbye. It really is a great connection, you know.
Right.
Um, so I just think that I think it's a great connection. What do you guys think, guys?
I just want to make a quick personal public service announcement. Just because there are pirates in the game does not mean you should pirate this game. Piracy is not a victimless crime.
All right.
What if you want to pirate see a movie?
What if you want to be in a pirate movie?
Uh, Pirates of the Caribbean Part 74.
Oof. We're gonna have
Is
Jack
that the?
Sparrow's skeleton.
Oh man,
They're not. They're gonna have a skeleton crew.
I wonder if
They're gonna
anybody's
have a
ever
skeleton.
pirated the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Probably.
it's pronounced Caribbean.
Pretentious munch, Jeff.
Oh, thanks for saying my real name, bitch. How you doing, Kevin? Oops.
Whoa, this is a PG podcast, man. We can't be saying those words.
What? The fact that now I'm not going to edit out that everyone knows your name,
What's my name?
Kevin.
Julio.
My name's not Julio. My name's Chef.
Well, it's a phrase I say, my man.
All right. So on that note,
How my man is a phrase, even though you're not one.
you can't assume my gender. It's 2018.
Yeah, that's why I'm not assuming your gender. I say man because it's just a phrase I use.
Jesus Christ. Okay. The bus has died.
Jeff has died.
Just inside. No, I'm kidding. So, um, you can, no. You can follow me on Twitter at jmanpowerhouse, and then letter R's at the end of the word powerhouse. You can follow Coffee on Twitter at
Coffee mug 888.
You can follow Steven on Twitter at
Steven with a V, Jackson13.
You can email us at lifeisfuelspodcast.com at that's not a thing. lifeisfuelspodcast@gmail.com. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. What is our YouTube name? It's Life is Fuels Podcast. You can subscribe to us on YouTube at Life is Fuels Podcast. You can send me money through Patreon. No, you can't.
We don't have Patreon yet.
You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/jmanpowerhouse_. I think that's what it is. That sounds about right. I do nothing on Twitch though, so I don't know why I just plugged that. You could follow us on Stitcher, I think, at Life is Feels Podcast. I'll continue to upload some stuff on there. Anything else? Guys? Do you have anything else to plug? Anybody? Coffee? Steven?
I'm good.
Steven?
Yeah.
You're good?
Yes, sir.
Coffee, are you good? I'm just gonna guess that coffee's okay. Anyway.
Had to step away for a moment.
Okay. So you're good? You don't have anything else to plug?
No, unfortunately I don't have anything to plug.
Okay. Well, guys. Can you stop interrupting me? Well, guys.
No more ads. This is the end.
I do have one thing I wanted to say close to the end.
Go ahead.
I shall return, but until then, this is farewell.
Oh my god. Wow. That was absolutely amazing. On that note, since we've plugged everything, I'm J-Man Powerhouse.
I'm Coffee.
And I'm Steven Jackson.
And remember, folks, life is feels. We'll see you next time.